Welcome to Nordic Stitches podcast episode number 7. My name is Lily. I am a knitting designer based in mid-Norway, Scandinavia, and that is where I'm coming to you from today. You can find me here. I'm just going to do that very easy. Also, there will be links down below this video, so go check that out. I am on Ravelry, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Ish. Yeah. Links. Before I start podcasting today, first of all, I want to say thank you to the wonderful Shauna who hosts the Adelaide Cottage podcast. She had some wonderful words to share about me and my podcast, and also I have donated some prizes for her stitching for a cause or knitting for a cause. I just get confused right now. For a cause. Blank for a cause. Knit along that she hosts on her Ravelry page. So you need to go and check that out. I will not be entering the knit along because I have donated prizes, but I will be knitting along and I will be posting my finished object in the chatter thread. So if you want to see what I make, you need to go and check out her, not only her podcast, which is awesome, but also her Ravelry group. It's very cool. And the second thing I want to mention before I keep on podcasting about the knitting and everything else is my friend in this area is a sheep farmer. Needless to say that I can get my hands on a lot of wool. If you are a spinner or you know a spinner, I will, during the month of October, get my hands on as much wool as I want, basically. So I will be washing and drying everything. I will be sorting it. I will have my friend help me, tell me what sheep and, color and everything like that, and it will be sorted into bags, airy bags. And if you are interested, contact me and we can do a swap. Yarn, goodies, anything. Just, send me a PM on Ravelry, Facebook, or Instagram, and we can probably figure something out. But you do not want to miss out on the Norwegian wool. Over to the segment of finished projects. Yeah. It's not really finished, but I finished one part. I shared a picture of this on Instagram, and I have made a decision. Let's see here. Oh, I should probably tell you. It lives in my Adelaide Cottage project bag. She makes those. Very awesome. Of course, I'm talking about my very first memories squares. And this is my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, the Scrooge block. And last week I didn't have a name for it. I do this week because I called it Scrooge because I really went all in for using scraps here. The last one that I made is a very good example for that, which is this one. It has 4 different types of stuff in here. So, and I will be opening a project page for this. I will be spending some time this weekend updating a little bit on my project page. Everything you've seen here so far on the podcast won't be up there, but most of it will. And I'm going to make a project page for this one. So this is the first square that I made, and I haven't bought a book yet because I really want a book to have it all in. So I just started out with an A4 printer page. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to try and tell you what they are, and if you are confused anytime, just remember that I will be making a project page. This is the first. Also, I will be writing, because I mentioned in my previous episode how I knit my squares. If you haven't checked that episode out, you can do that, but also I'm going to be writing down the specifics for how I made my squares on the project page. So I'm not going to be going into details about that right now. This is the first square that I made. It is Drops Fable color 162. And then I made this one, which is Drops Fable color 904. And then there's this one, which is one of my favorites because it has some yellow specks in there. Yellow always brightens the day. That is Drops Fable color 161. And the corner of this one right here is Scrooge. Drops Fable color 162. And then number 4, which is this one, this pretty little purple, blue, dark blue, yeah, it's Viking Minidagen color 569, and that's the only Viking Minidagen that I have the actual color numbers for. And you will quickly learn from watching my podcast or any other European podcast that naming our yarn is not really a thing we do. I really wish though, because numbers and I like names, I don't like numbers. Okay, so then there's this one, which is Viking Minidagen color blank. I just called it pink. And then there's, I don't know, go the opposite direction. And then there's this one, which is Saga Print Garn orange. It's not named orange, but you know, obvious. So the color is 101. And then there's Viking Minidagen purple. Again, don't know the color. Then there's the green one here. Is, if you watched my podcast previously or follow me on Instagram, you will recognize it from a pair of socks that I did. It is Saga Print green color 105. And then there's this one. My arm's really starting to get tired right now. Saga Print rosa pink color 104. And then there's this one, and now we really are getting into the Scrooge part here, because number 10 is exactly like number 4. So this one and this one are using the same yarn, but as you can see, they come out very differently because of the striping in the yarn, so that's cool. So yeah, so that's Viking Minidagen color 569. And then we have another Scroogey. We have like number 7, let's see here, Viking Minidagen purple. And as you can see, where did you go? They also came out quite differently. And then we have another Saga Print green color 105 down here, and we have another number 5 Minidagen, just the pink one, and that one I think those came out quite alike actually. Not, you know, 100%, but almost. And I think that's because there was 2 different dye lots. So, as you can see, they came out almost identical. But I don't mind. And then there is, I'm holding it upside down, another orange Saga Print, color 101. And that also came out very differently from the other one. Let's see if I can hold them up. So these 2 are from the same skein. And again, because of the striping of the yarn, they came out very differently. And the second to last is as number 9, which is Saga Print. Well, it says purple here, but as you can see, the yarn also has a lot of dark yellow? Purple. Oh my goodness. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, so that's that. And then we have the big finish, which is the total Scrooge square of this block. which is this that has 4 different yarns in it. Now let's just take this step by step. We started here with, I started here with the darker blue, which is like number 4, so Viking Minidagen color 569. And then number 2 is this section right here. And that is like number 2, so Drops Fable color 904. And then number 3 is like number 1, so Drops Fable color 162. And then that goes right up here. And then here at the top, I have a Saga Print Orange or 101. So that's where it came out. My favorite, actually. And as you can see in the back, no loose ends. Because I do that. Automatically when I finish something, I just reach for the scissors and the needles. And as we all know, when it folds, it's a blanket. So, but yeah, so as I said, before I started telling you about every square, I have made a decision about this because I posted a picture on Instagram when it was finished, and I asked what you thought of the idea. And the question was, should I just continue? Because this is all superwash, so it's perfect to give as a gift. Should I continue using superwash, a little rougher, a little darker colors like this, and just continue on with the blanket and give it to charity? Or should I keep it for myself? I am going to donate it to charity. Because I know myself so well. It's not that I don't like how it comes out. I just know that I won't like it in my home. So I'm going to be separating every minis that I get. I want to separate one pouch for the charity, and then I'm going to save up so that when I'm finished with the charity blanket, I'm going to start making one for myself in the colors that I want. So if you want to donate minis for the charity blanket, because I will be writing down everything and I will take a copy and I will include it in the gift. I've also decided where I'm going to donate the blanket. I'm going to donate it to the Salvation Army because they donate stuff to families in need and stuff like that. So I think that's a really good idea. Also, talking about charity, from January 1st through 2017, because I am going to want to cast off everything I have on my needles before the new year and start all over for 2017. I want to have a box for charity so that every Christmas, whenever Christmas comes along, I can take this box with stuff that I've made that I'm not going to sell or not going to keep myself or not going to give away as gifts to anybody I know. I'm going to put it in that box. And when Christmas comes, I'm going to take the box and give it to the Salvation Army so they can give the contents to people in need. That will be my new tradition. Yeah, just thought I'd put that out there. Okay, so that was the what am I working on semi-finished projects charity segment. Let's just jump right into what I'm working on. What's on my needles? It's living in my Shauna bag. This was gifted to me from Shauna Stitches, which also is a podcast you need to check out, by the way, if you haven't already. I am using, if you remember, if you've seen the podcast before, you know that I knitted a shawl in a cotton yarn. A Swedish cotton yarn, Svarta Fåret Tilda. It's a very soft, very, oh, I love this yarn. It's 50% cotton and 50% acrylic. It's perfect for anybody with sensitive skin. And this is going to be a gift for a woman that yesterday was having surgery for cancer. So this weekend I will be finishing up my second shawl in this yarn. And this design is also by the same designer as last time, Bitta Mikkelborg, which is my favorite Norwegian designer. It's just amazing the designs she comes up with. And this is her second shawl design. And I'm sorry if you're watching this from any other country that doesn't know how to read Norwegian patterns. It's only available in Norwegian. I'm sure that if we can get a couple of hundred people together, you know, I want this in English, I'm sure we can do something. I'm sure we can work something out. So you just PM me and I'll, you know, let her know that we're a lot of people who want this in English. So it's charted, like my patterns. But it's such an easy knit. The more I have to do, I have a cat. I will be washing this. The more things I have going on one part like this when it's lace, the better it is. Because if there's just some few segments of lace in a portion like this, I am so dizzy. But this is super easy for me. And also we have this section here with, it's almost like prolonged. It's a longer version of the mock rib. So those two, as you can see, alternates. And this is my first time ever knitting with this garter tab cast on, which I don't really like, but that's alright. Also, I knit my edges a little differently this time. I knit them so that they're flat. There's no bumpy edges here because of, you know, you just knit. So, and I do that by purling the last stitch on every row and slipping as if to knit on the first. So that is something that I do differently from the pattern. Yeah, and I also, of course, very symbolically, have my homemade DIY progress keeper right there. And this was knit up. I have not been working on this 24/7. I think I started this Saturday, Friday night or Saturday, after I podcasted last. And it's just been an evening knit and breakfast knit. You know, have a cup of tea. Ooh, tea. Yeah, that's probably done by long. Let's see here. So yeah, that is my second shawl in that yarn. I have yet to block the first one that I made, but it's okay. I can wait. I'm going to knit for the others first. Okay, so the pattern name for this shawl is Vingeslag. There's seriously cat hair everywhere. I'm knitting them on my Knit Pro. I bought these because we're getting closer to Christmas, people. The house elves are seriously they are at large. They are everywhere. They're stealing everything. Not my mistake. I'm not misplacing anything. I know for a fact that I had 3.5 millimeters knitting needles in abundance, and all of a sudden I only had one short knitting needle. House elves. So I went to my local knitting store or yarn store and I bought Knit Pro Cubics. I think it's rosewood. Symphony Rose. I love these needles. They're not metal, but at least they're cubic. Yeah, I absolutely love working with cubic needles. I can knit for hours and not get any pain in my wrists or fingers at all. So that is the work in progress, number 2. I also want to mention some yarn I got in the mail and some yarn that I bought. I didn't buy all the yarn. I bought one skein. My friend, the sheep farmer, she gave me a very late birthday present. It was like almost both of us had forgotten. So when she remembered, I got yarn, of course, because obviously that's a perfect gift. So you can see them right there. But before I start talking about my acquisitions and showing you the retro flip through, So Sweet Violet is back, people. The wonderful podcaster from Great Britain. OMG. I love that podcast so much. She is just the sweetest person. She's just so calm and so... She's wonderful. You need to check her out. Yarn. Let's start with the things that I bought, because I bought these Saturday after I podcasted last. It is, if you're from Norway or Sweden, I don't know anybody, if you're from Denmark, do you have this? It's Jarbo Mellanraggi. It's a Swedish brand. As you can see, Swedish flag. And I got 3, so 2 of these are a gift from her. And I chose these from her because she's a sheep farmer, you know, natural colors. And I bought this for me. I know I'm not a variegated yarn kind of person, but I saw a pair of socks in the store that would knit up with this yarn. I needed the skein. That's all I'm going to say about that. I needed the skein. Okay, so one of these skeins, and I'm going to tell you, because I am starting to get a little interested in what yarn cost in other places of the world. So I'm going to mention the Norwegian price for one skein, how much they cost together, and I'm going to put the American, that was a Christmas song, I'm sorry, on the screen. So yeah, so I saved this, I saved the receipt. So one skein cost 83 Norwegian kroners, and in a total for all 3, 249. So please let me know if that is expensive or if that is, because I don't think it's expensive, because I'm getting a pair of socks out of this, and if I were to buy 2 separate skeins it would be a lot more. So, especially for a little more quality yarn. But this is a little rougher, and I'm going to keep these for myself. Now over to what they are named, or the color numbers, because we do that. The nature colored one is a limited edition, or both these are limited editions. So if you live in Norway or Sweden or any place else that has this yarn, these are limited. You need to go and grab some. First of all, she did actually just take in these skeins because I and a lot of other people has been nagging her about it. So finally, so the nature one is color 28201. It has a recommended stitch gauge, 25 stitches times 33 rows in stockinette. And you should get that by using 3mm needles. So these will be a little thicker socks, but that's okay because I'm aiming for that. It's machine washable, but I don't know if it's, yeah. So it's 75% wool superwash, and all the information I give you now is for all 3 skeins, so I won't repeat it. 75% superwash wool and 25% polyamide. I love this color, don't you? These will be my sleepy socks. I'm starting to get a lot of those because it's getting cold. And then there's the very light gray one. It has a very normal raggsock, thicker sock color to it. And this is color 28211. Limited! Go get some! And then there's the Mellanraggi again. It's color 28332, and it's not limited edition, which I am kind of happy about, because if I like this a lot, I can imagine other things and then socks with this. Definitely. Yeah. So those are my birthday presents, and yeah. All right. Those were those. Those were those. And then I ordered my first mini skeins, and I will be keeping this for myself online on Etsy. And it came in this wonderful fabric bag. Okay, so I purchased these. It makes me giddy. Look how beautiful that is. I'm going to take it out of the plastic, but I just need to do this first. Sorry, I love that sound. I just love that sound. And apparently, I hadn't seen this, but they also included this teeny, which has a range of, what I can tell is the purple and pink here. I just love how this tea goes more into peach orange than bright orange. I love pastels, and this rainbow, oh man. It's a little rougher yarn, but in a memories blanket, I am not going to bother. It's a okay, so it's called Summer Rainbow Semi-Solid Gradient Mini Skein Set. It's hand-dyed yarn and it's 4-ply sock weight, 90% wool, 10% nylon. 7 times 10 grams, 70 grams. So I'm going to make a lot smaller squares for the next, for my blanket. So 10 grams will go for 2 squares, basically. It's going to be a very long-term project, but it's okay. So it's approximately 7 times 42 meters. I'm hoping that, you know, if it doesn't, you know, I'll just Scrooge up my second memories blanket and wash as well. It says hand wash, and I read that while I was talking. See? Yeah. So that's the information in the back. Check out these colors. This teeny is a sample Orchid 9 4-ply sock wool nylon blend. So it's the same yarn, it's just doesn't say how many grams, but I can Scrooge that. That is going to be my new term for anything that I am going to use scraps for. I'm going to Scrooge it. So that was those, the mini skeins. And then train intermission. Alright. Then you probably know about this person, Nora George Yarns. Yeah. I contacted Stacy, if I'm saying that right? Right? Yeah, I think I am. Stacy, who has the Nora George Yarns, and asked if she wanted to do a swap, and she did. And this is what I got. She spoiled me rotten. And when her swap package came along, I just thought, whoo, this is so perfect, because I was considering this one, and I didn't buy it because I knew that she was coming up with Harry Potter yarn, and I wanted to save for that instead. And she sent me this Beach Bum. It has yellow and browns and greens, and it is just so pretty. And I have heard nothing but good praise about her yarn, and I can totally see why. And I'm almost afraid to use this because I am so afraid that I'm going to waste it. So yeah, this is my first ever Nora George yarn skein. And she included, of course, a very nice card. I have enough yarn, said no knitter ever. That's going to go up on my wall. And I love Haribo candy, probably too much. And she sent me some. I'm saving it for Halloween. I'm being good. It's not easy, but I'm being good. And she also sent me some of her hand-dyed minis. And she didn't include any names for these, so I will be donating it. I will be giving this to donation, and maybe that, I don't know. I need to check them out. But yeah. So some Nora George yarn will be going into the memories blanket that will go to donation. So yeah, that is my swap package from Nora George Yarns. Yeah, and I'm very excited to get the yarn that I ordered from her so I can show you. I have never ordered Harry Potter yarn before, so yeah. I am seeing here that I forgot to tell you, you probably saw it from the label when I showed off, but it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, it's high twist, 400 meters, 100 grams. Very pretty. Very pretty. Alright, so those were the yarns. There's only 2 segments left of this podcast for today. For this episode. We have our very first Q&A. And I'm going to read it from my laptop screen here. So Maureen from Simply More Crafting asks, "Hi there, found you through Shauna Stitches, which is the podcast I mentioned when I was going through this bag." That bag. Loved your podcast. Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. And thought I'd ask a question. You mentioned in your podcast that you loved Texas and wanted to move here. I live in the Dallas area and wondered what you like about the state that you want to move here. Do you have family here? If you'd like any information from my neck of the woods, just let me know. Keep up the great podcast content. Maureen, Simply More Crafting. Thank you so much for asking a question. I've been wanting to put this up in my podcast forever, and I really hope that you watch this episode so that you get your answer. As she says in her question, I mentioned in my previous episode that I want to move to Texas, and I've been wanting to do so since I was 14. Now here's a news flash. Anybody who knows me knows this, but I have never been to the USA. So how can I say that I really want to move to Texas? Well, I don't know. It's just always been like that. I watched a documentary on the Yellowstone Park when I was 13-ish, and I thought, wow, that is an amazing park. I really want to move to that country. You know, I was 13 at the time. And then, you know, in school here, at least in Norway, we learn a lot about the United States. We learn the differences between the American English and the Britain English, and we learn about the states, yeah, the politics and stuff like that. So when I touched upon Texas about a year later after I watched this this Yellowstone documentary, I started noticing how much I liked the people there, had the hospitality, the country music. Wow, I just love country music. I'm a sucker for that. It just mesmerized me. And then I found the Texas coast. It's just, if I close my eyes and I picture my dream view and my dream surroundings, that is it. And because of modern technology, I have been zooming the area very carefully with Google Maps. And yeah, I've been to Stonehenge and, you know, Italy and stuff like that through Google Maps. But I've been really zooming out the coastal line of Texas. And so far, I just really love the Crystal Beach area. And I know it can get rough weather there, but I like rough weather. I like a real good thunderstorm, and I like it when the wind is so hard that trees almost knock over. And I realize that sometimes trees do knock over and rooftops fly off and stuff like that, and somehow that does not scare me. So yeah, but I will be moving to Texas. I just love Texas, and it's so weird because sometimes I actually feel homesick for a state in a country that I've never been to. So it may be a mental disorder, I don't know, but at least that's just the basics. Of course, there's a lot more, but I would be talking for hours if that was the case. I have a couple of friends in Texas now because I'm modern technology, and one of them, Misty, she says that I am a Texas girl, which I really appreciate, and yeah, so I don't think there will be any problems with me fitting in or anything. I need to get that far. It's either a 5-year plan or an 8-year plan, but I won't be living here for as much as 8 years. I will be yeah, transitioning through another country if one of the candidates are elected. So that's that. Okay, so there's only one segment left, and that is the retro flip through. Okay, so this is from September 1985, number 8. Mid-80s. And this magazine is everything about craft. Sewing, it's knitting, crochet, sewing. Yeah, you don't really know what you will encounter until you open it. In the back, it has this typical standard measuring tape, and we use metric size here, so it's centimeters. And it always comes with these pattern pages so that you can cut out your fabrics. And there's the contents page. I said it right this time! Yay, me! Alright, so let's just flip through, huh? Okay. Oh, bobbins! Lace bobbins. Okay. Oh, pretty dogs. So this is obviously sewing. Yeah, those shoes did not really blend in with that, those pants, did they? It's all about the yellow. Sy likt til mor og datter. So the same for mom and dad. Or almost the same. Match, I guess, would be the proper term. So that is the theme for this. Ooh, talk about Diana hair. And no comment. So yeah. And ooh, patchwork. That is massive. Wow. And here's the chart for that. How to place your squares. Ah! The raincoat has very nice patterns. These are coming back. I've seen a few of those. There's some Marmegarn, paint with yarn. Okay, so yeah, I don't know how to explain that, but they probably glued a few dots here and there and just pulled the yarn between to create a pattern. And that is seriously yarn painting right there. There's some more. Paint with yarn. And there's some knitting. And this is Fair Isle, you know, stranded color work. It's only 2 colors here, but it counts as color work, that too. If I had to choose, I'd go for that one, without those paints. And more color work. I think they're supposed to be flowers, but I see these as eyes, and that as hair, and this as a nose and beard. Maybe I just need food or something, but that's that's at least what I'm seeing. And then there's these pattern pages. And here's the Norwegian Hardangersøm. I have no idea if that has an English word, so when I get to this part of the editing, I will Google it and put it on the screen. But yeah, so it's basically just embroidered and then cut out in between, so it gets this lace effect. I've never done it, and to be quite frank, I'm too scared to try because there's a lot of work here, and I would be just too afraid to do anything like that. I don't want to destroy it. More pattern pages, crochet techniques, bobbin lace work. Did not realize I had that. So here is C. What series is that? Oh, I love that series. Cranford. It's a very, very cozy series. And no, it's not Cranford. Lockrise to Candleford. One of the women in the poor village makes bobbins lace like this. And if you haven't seen either Cranford or Lockrise to Candleford, you really should, if you're into that sort of entertainment. And then there's some examples for the bobbin lace. So here is, it doesn't show up very good on camera, but it's a lace section here in the curtain. And here it is as details on a bag. And here's some more about the bobbin lace. So here you can see. Cannot believe that this is almost extinct now. There's probably just a handful of people who knows how to do this. And I have how to. So who knows? Wow, these look super comfy, but that's probably because it's silky. Okay, so obviously we're tuning into underwear, sleepy garments. I really like the lace details here. Something for the men. It's all sewn. See till ham, sew for him. Jackets, several. What does it say? Susan. It's just Susanne. It's a name. Almost like Susan. And that is one very big crochet tablecloth. Personalized with a name. Very big. I don't think I could do that. It's a lot of work. And here it is as a bedspread. Doesn't show very well, but it's this one, so that is a lot of pink furniture. Wow. Some crochet charts for, I should just probably not show that. Some kitchen curtains. And some baby knit. She looks very happy, doesn't she? Cool. Are those, I don't know what those are, but I think those are some kind of slip stitch decrease or slip stitch details in the sweater. Scratch my nose. And okay, so here are some socks, I think. Lace socks. Mal blomster på skoene. Paint flowers on your shoes. Alright, so I thought it was the socks, but obviously they referred to painting your shoes. So, yeah. Going to the next one. Sys noe nytt til badet. Sew something new for your bathroom. So that's bathroom mat, floor mat. Just, you know, some few sections for inspiration. And then some more for inspiration. Is that Hardangersum? Yeah. Nice color with Hardangersem. So Hardanger seam, I guess. So many cool things. And then there's the last pages. Some crochet thread. The underwear. This is how you do it. And some teasers for the next magazine that I don't have. So let's check out those. All right, that was the pattern flip through, or the retro flip through for this episode. I'll include some videos at the end here, so if you want to join me in, I did some filming when my brother was driving, so you can see what the shade looks like here at the moment, because it's getting really cold, and the sun is getting so low now that some places in the valley where I live does not necessarily get sun during a day, so the frost sticks. And it doesn't have to snow to get white. So I didn't mention in the beginning, but if you stuck with me all through this part, thank you so much. And I also have a Ravelry group, so become a member in there, introduce yourself, get to know us, let us get to know you, and when the numbers are getting a little up there, I will start hosting knit-alongs and giveaways. So yeah, head over to the Ravelry group and become a member. We would appreciate your company. Thank you so much for watching, taking the time out of your day to spend it here with me. I really appreciate you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the podcast, hit the subscribe button so that you won't miss an update when I upload a new video. Alright! Let's go to some nature videos. Whoever you are, wherever you are, be kind, be good, and have a nice day. Bye! now I have tea on my pants. It's a good thing it wasn't that hot.